Hello, guys. Welcome back to my channel. The name is Risla lead consultant for USRN Pathway Consult, where we help nurses who want to work in USA, registered nurses only, and based in New York State. I have a Nigerian with me, and fun fact: I lived 10 years of my life in Nigeria or your state. In case you didn't know that, she migrated from Nigeria to UK to work in UK as a midwife. Her journey has
Yeah.
not been easy at all. She faced a lot of struggles and obstacles, but she overcame them and now working in UK as a midwife. And I cannot wait for us all to hear her story. Determination is required on this migration journey, and we tell you every time. By the way, I'm sure you have seen that there's a recruitment drive coming live to you in Ghana. And watch out for the details. I cannot wait to break the good news to you. And you'll see me in a neighborhood next to you. Hi, Joy. Welcome to the channel. What's your name? And
Hi.
introduce yourself to my viewers.
Thank you. My name is Joy Gonoje, known as Joy to the World on YouTube and I'm a registered midwife. I'm a registered nurse, and I'm currently practicing as a midwife here. I came into the UK as a midwife, and I've been here for roughly 9, 10 months now, almost a year, and it's been an amazing journey so far, but not without its struggles. I've had my own struggles a lot, like at every stage of the journey, and it's something that when I look back to, I smile
Wow.
because yeah. So that's all about me. I came in here alone, not with us and a family. Yeah, and it's been an amazing journey, like I said.
Wow. And you left one thing out. You're a content creator. You have a YouTube channel. Is that right?
Yes, I have a YouTube channel, Joy to the World. I just started that recent.
Okay, so viewers, as you can see, the name on the screen, Joy to the World, that's her YouTube channel. Go
Yeah.
subscribe, watch her videos, share her videos with others. So let's go back. Let me take you back to Nigeria. You studied is it a 3 year midwifery? What did you study in terms of your
Yeah.
nursing career?
Yeah. I studied midwifery first. I went into school like very young. I think 18 years old, and then I studied midwifery, basic midwifery, before doing my registered nursing, general nursing, 1 year and 6 months course. So I felt that because I've been a midwife almost all my life, like since the beginning, I should just come into the UK as a midwife. I had both of them when I wanted to come, but I chose midwifery. But say for the passion, I don't know, but yeah.
Wow. So you after nursing school, I believe you did your NYSC or your what we call national service in Nigeria, and then you found a job. How many years did you work in Nigeria?
I didn't do NYSC, but for my midwifery, we do what we call midwife service scheme back home in Nigeria. Like after you do your basic midwifery, you
Okay.
have to do a 1 year service in the community called the midwife service scheme, and you get paid by the government. And yeah, when you're done, they give you your license and all of that to say that you've qualified now.
Okay. And how many years did you work in Nigeria?
Yeah, I worked like 5, 6 years. I think I came into the UK 2022. Yeah, so
Okay. So
I've been
what
working on my life. Yeah.
so what informed the decision to relocate and why UK?
Like ever since I kind of, say from my secondary school, I always had this notion that I must travel abroad. I didn't know the abroad I was going to, but I know I was going to travel abroad. um like further down the journey, I felt okay, I think I would love Canada, because I've been hearing a lot of stories about Canada, how cold it is, how all those kind of stories, and I was like, oh, it's Canada, it's definitely Canada.
Why you like
Then
it cold?
I don't know.
Ah.
So
As I'm
yeah,
speaking to you, it's snowing outside my window. It's really cold here too in New York. Go ahead.
I that's what I've been looking forward to, and someday I'll go there. But
Okay.
yeah, so that was what happened. But then I think last year 2022, a friend told me about the UK migration, and they're currently employing and all of that. So I said, yeah, why not give it a go and see? And it worked
Wow.
out.
Okay.
Yeah.
So how to work in UK as a midwife? You've been through the process. Can you
Mm.
summarize the process? And I think through that process, that's when your obstacles came. So start the journey.
Yes.
How was the
Uh,
first thing somebody has to do?
Okay, so the first thing, the very first thing is to get your international passport. That was what I did. I got my international passport in 2018. After getting it, I kept it. I think that was the period I was doing my midwife savings scheme. That's the MSS. So after doing it, I just kept it, somewhere in my bag. And like I said, I wanted to use it to go to Canada, not even UK. So I just kept it. And I felt, I had this notion that for you to travel abroad, you must have your BSc, your nursing, and all of that. So I was currently doing my nursing there. I was doing BSc in the university, and also, doing my nursing somewhere else, like general nursing, because I wanted to get one, either of them first, anyone that come first, and just move out. So when I was doing that, I was in 400 level, I think, when my friend told me in 2021 that, UK is currently employing nurses and midwives, and that I can use my midwifery to come in. I was like, wow, nobody ever told me. If I had known this, I would have, probably start the journey since. Your international passport, then I did my IELTS the next. I registered for my IELTS online, paid for it. Then at that point I was doing in my schooling, doing my BSc and all of that. So I kind of said, okay, let me give this. I gave 2 weeks to study for the exam, and then I God helped me. I was able to pass it, because I wouldn't say it's my power. I was able to pass it. Then after passing, I had to do my NMC verification. That's the next stage after IELTS. But you can do the NMC first. So did my NMC verification, applied to my NMC and Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria, that I want to verify my license, my midwifery license, and all. So I paid the money, and then they got back to me after a few weeks, I think 4 weeks or so, and they told me it was successful. So after that, I opened my NMC online account. That's my NMC UK account online. Paid for the eligibility fee of £140, and then when I finished paying, they contacted my nursing body in Nigeria, which is NMC and Nursing and Midwifery Council of Nigeria. They contacted them, and then verified it, and then they sent me the link to register for my CBT exams. That's Pearson View link. So without those things, without the verification, without your NMC online and paying the eligibility fee, they would not send you that link, and you'll not be able to register for your CBT. So that's like the authorization to test that they give to you. So after they gave me the authorization to test, I registered for my CBT. And like I said, during all of this, I was still, doing my nursing exams, working, because I was working in schooling at the same time. That was how I was able to get my 5, 6 years experience. So I registered for my CBT, and then I started using the wrong materials to study. I didn't know that, midwifery is different from nursing. I thought it's just the same way it is in Nigeria, that you can, if you are a nurse, you can work as a midwife, you can work as a nurse at the same time. So you can use any of them. It's the same thing. It's interrelated. I never knew it was really, really distant. So I started using my nursing materials to study for CBT, and then went to write the exam, and I failed it woefully, like
So
both
let me
parts.
let me pause you there. Do you mean that the CBT for midwives is different from the CBT for general nurses?
Very different. The materials are different. The questions are different. Yes, they are structured the same way. You have two parts in the same. You have numeracy, you have clinical in both nursing and midwifery, and mental health nursing as well. So mental health nursing is also different. Pediatric nursing is also different. Learning and disability is different. They all have their different questions. You can't use one for the other. So that was the mistake I made, and it cost me a lot. I did fail the first part, and then I registered again within, they give say 10 days. They say you should have 10 days in between your first and second attempt. So I had to wait for 10 days, then register again after that 10 days. And I was trying to rush this process. I was trying to rush so that I can finish my CBT, and then sit down properly to, prepare for my nursing and midwifery council exam for general nursing. Because at that time we were doing our hospital finals, and we were preparing for nursing council. That's the final exams to leave school. So I wanted to rush all of this. So I had to quickly register again, gave only 14 days and all of that. And then I failed the second attempt. I was like, oh my God, what is all of this? Like, what is after me? I mean, I've been studying. I really studied. I printed materials and all of that. So it was the 10th attempt I was able to pass. I had to give a longer period, say 1 month or so, in between the second and third attempt. And I was able to settle down and study it properly. And then I passed that one, the
And
CBT.
so in registering to take these examinations, you have to pay something. And how much did you pay? Because 3 times, that's a
Yeah.
lot.
Yeah, it's a lot of money. So I think both parts, for part A and part B, you pay £83. But
Mhm.
if you're writing one part only, say you failed one part. So for my second attempt, I failed only the clinical part, and then I passed the numeracy, which is part A. So I didn't have to pay for part A again. I didn't have to pay the whole £83 again. I had to pay like something, I think £70 or so, because the numeracy is cheaper. So I only paid for part B and then wrote it again if I was able to pass. So it's the part you're writing that you're paying for. If you're only writing part A, you're only paying for part A. If you're writing part B, you're only paying for part B. If you're writing both, you pay for both, which is roughly £83. After writing my CBT and I finally passed it, I started applying for jobs because that was like the next stage.
Okay.
um I started applying for jobs. I went to trackjobs.com, which is our main site for, applying for NHS jobs. That's like the site where you can get any kind of job you're looking for as a nurse or as a midwife. So I went there, registered, and then I put in my details and everything else in there, formed my online CV, wrote my supporting statements, which is like the main thing in job application, because you have to have a good supporting statement for you to be able to get a good job and get it on time. I know
So
that
this supporting statement, is this something you write, or is it a recommendation from your work, your boss at work, or who writes the supporting
no,
statement and what goes into it?
okay, you write it yourself. It's like
Okay.
your online CV, something that speaks for you when you're not there, because you're applying, you don't know what's happening afterwards. You go to your bed to sleep, and then they start reviewing these applications. Is that supporting statement that is going to tell them everything about you. So you have to make it really, really detailed and give them what they want. So
Mm-hmm.
this supporting statement is it's something that has to do with you telling them that, okay, you have the qualifications they are looking for in that particular job application. Say, for instance, in the job description, person specification, they say they are looking for people that can cannulate, a nurse that can, serve medications, a nurse that can empty the bowel, like things like that. And then you have to put it in your supporting statement that I can do all of these that is in the job description. Because if you don't, they are going to assume you cannot do it. They would assume you don't know it, and they will pass your application. You understand? So you have to, put everything there. Make sure you read all the job descriptions, the person specifications, and then answer it accordingly. Put in the qualifications you've had over the years, like your midwifery, your nursing certificate, your that you've written CBT, you've written IELTS, like this is the stage you're in now. You've done your NMC registration, verification, and all of that. Put everything in there. And also put in there that you will be needing a tier 2 sponsorship, because that's what we use to come in. They have to sponsor you, they have to give you a certificate of sponsorship for you to be able to come into the UK to practice. And so you put all of that there, and then they are well informed. They are very well informed. So if you don't do that, if you don't have a good supporting statement, it's very, very hard for you to get a job. Yeah, some people have good supporting statement and then they struggle, because I myself, I struggled to, I think I applied for over 400 jobs before I was able to get.
Wow.
Yeah, I did apply for a lot, like 400 plus, before I was able to, start getting interviews and all of that. It's normal. It's very, very normal in this process, because there are a lot of people applying from India, from Ghana, from all the African countries. So this trust, they are recruiting every day. It has to get to your turn before you are invited, and you make sure that, okay, when they finally see your application, that is worth reading, is worth going through. Don't jam pack everything, don't make it so bulky that even you yourself that wrote it cannot read it. You understand? You have to make it very enticing, that so that when they finally see that, they'll be forced to call you. We
Mhm.
did get a lot of unfortunate emails then, that unfortunately we can't recruit you, unfortunately this, unfortunately that. It was really devastating. At some point I felt really down, almost going depressed. Like, it was really devastating. But then finally, when the interviews started coming in, they were coming, and it was just flowing. at the end of the day, I think I had 4 job offers, and I had to choose which one to go with. So that's just it. You just have to keep up the faith and make sure that you're doing everything that you're supposed to do.
Wow.
So yeah, after getting your job, say for instance you're applying, you finally get job interviews. Make sure that you prepare for your job interviews properly as well. Prepare very well, because there are certain questions they ask you, and they always ask those questions. So make sure that you know the right answers to give for that. For instance, they'll ask you, tell me about yourself. Like, tell me about yourself. Make sure that you know the right answer to give, because almost all the interviewers ask those questions. Tell them details about yourself, your whole work experience, like what is so enticing about you, why they should employ you, and be bold and confident when you're saying these things, because that is actually one of the things they are looking for as well. They are not just looking to hear or what you're saying. They want to see your confidence. They want to see that you know what you're doing, that you can stand up for yourself, you can speak for yourself and all that. So answer everything with confidence and be bold enough, and don't keep back skills that you have. Say for instance, you know how to do these things and all of that, but because you feel, oh, maybe they already know, they should know that I know it now, after all they know that I'm a nurse. No, say it out, speak it, like say it out, empty your mind, empty everything in your head out. Let them be the one to say, okay, I don't need this information, I need this information. So that's one thing that kind of help people to skate through interviews, that helped us to skate through the interviews at that time as well. So know what they ask for different shows, because different shows have their different interviews. Join groups, approach people that are doing these things as well. You guys should communicate, and then know what each trust ask, each
Mhm.
hospital ask for their interviews, and you know what to answer as well. So also know the trust values, because they're going to be asking you how their trust values relate with your personal values as well. So finally, I was able to get job offers. Like I said, the next thing was to get a certificate of sponsorship from the trust, because they have to give you that certificate of sponsorship called COS for you to be able to apply for your visa to come to the UK. Without that, you have to present that at the visa center. Without that, you will not be able to process your visa. So I waited for a COS. It took a while, but it finally came. The trust did they verified my documents. I sent them my documents, my TB certificate, tuberculosis, because we have to do tuberculosis test as well from a designated center called IOM. You can't do it. You can't do
Oh,
it anywhere. You can't do it in any hospital. It has to be that particular center, International Office for Migration or something like that. IOM. So they do it in 2 places, Abuja and Lagos. So I went to Abuja, did my own, came back, then submitted it to the trust. And this certificate, expires in 3 months. So you have to do it very close to when you're traveling. So you do that one, then you do your police clearance as well, which also expires in 3 months. So I did those two things, and then submitted it to my trust, applied for my visa. Then the visa was the next thing, that kind of a hurdle that also happened again. During the time I was applying for my visa, the Ukraine war was going on, and it was really affecting our process. I applied for my visa March 31st. All through April, we were waiting for visa. Visa did not come. It was in May that it finally came, after 6 whole weeks, whereas they told us in 15 working days, 13 working days is going to come, but we waited 6 weeks. And what made it more painful was that people that applied April 1st, April 2nd, April 17th, April 19th, April 20th, they started getting their visa. And I was like, wait, is it that they want to reject her, or is it that they want to give us a bad decision, like you are not granted this visa, or like all those fears, all those questions started coming in play. And it was really a scary moment. It was a confusing moment, and all of that. And finally it came through, and we were really excited. It was time to travel, time to book our flights. And the hospital you're applying to can either book your flight, or they can tell you, okay, book it when you come over to the UK, would refund you. They will refund you all your money, definitely. Both your IELTS, your visa money, your NMC registration, the CBT exam that you registered. They'll pay for one sitting for CBT. So they'll pay for all of this money. So it doesn't matter if you book your flight yourself or you let them book it. Just choose what you want to do. So
they'll
I
pay
told my
for it.
trust, Yes, they will pay for everything. As
Wow.
long as you submit the receipts, they will pay for everything. Yeah.
Wow.
So yeah, I told my trust, okay, you can book you can book the flight for me, because at this stage I was penniless.
Mm-hmm.
There was no money left on me again. I remember I was working, and it was this money that I was, getting from my salary that I was using to do all of this process at that time. I didn't want to depend on my parents. I didn't want to depend on it. I just wanted to do it myself. And so I told them, okay, book the flight, and they actually did. But we didn't get much information, and I did research about the particular airline that they booked, the KLM airline. And I went to the airport that very day I was supposed to travel, which was May 19th. And on getting there, they told me I couldn't travel with the flight, that it requires a transit visa, which I don't have. And I was like, okay, but I wasn't told this before. I know I didn't make research. So this is one thing we should do as well. Try to make research about this particular flight you're taking. Make research about basically everything, your CBT exams. Make research about what materials you must read. Your IELTS, make research about the kind of IELTS you will write, because it's IELTS academy you have to write. If you now go and write IELTS general, it will not be used. It will not be used to. So make research about basically everything. You have your YouTube. Go online, search for things. Get information for yourself, because it's very, very helpful. So they
So when
told
you
me
mean
that
the transit, that means the airline was not leaving Nigeria straight to UK. It was going to transit in some other country.
exactly. I think, where was he going? I felt Netherlands or something like that. Netherlands. So they
So you
told me
went
I
back
couldn't
home?
travel. No, no, I couldn't. I was tired at this point, because I had to travel from all the way from my town to Lagos. It took 8 hours to travel, like, to journey. So I couldn't go back. I told them, what else can I do?
Murtala Mohammed Airport, correct.
Yes, but I will have any search that airport. So they told me, one of the flight people told me that, okay, that I can book another flights, like book a flight ticket that same night, and I'll be able to travel. That British Airways is a straight one. It takes you straight to the UK, so you don't need a transit visa for that. So I had to, call my friends, make a few calls, and then they came up. They sent me money for me to book my flights, and
Oh.
I was able to do that, and you know, come into the UK the next day. And yeah, I later, told my trust about it, and they refunded me the money. They contacted KLM for them to give them back their money, that I wasn't able to use the flight ticket again and all of that. That wasn't where the story ended, actually.
I
So
can't.
my
Oh my
Oski,
God, you've been through a lot.
I've been trained. My Oski was booked for August 8th, to be precise. And I was preparing, I prepared very well. And I was the first international midwife my trust employed. Like, the first, they've been employing nurses, but
But not
the
midwife.
midwifery departments, I was just the very first African midwife they were employing, like Nigerian. So I didn't know anything. They didn't know anything either about what this process takes. We went there. I went to the OSCE center that very day for my OSCE. I wanted to write OSCE. And before this time, I lost access to the email address I used to, register with my trust before. And that was the email address that they submitted to the OSCE center before I came to the UK. Because before you come to the UK, they've already booked your OSCE, so that immediately you come, because there are limited spaces. So immediately you come, they would, you go and write it, you prepare and go and write it. So they already booked my OSCE exams with my former email address. And I didn't get any information from the OSCE center, because I've lost access to it, and I had to create a new one. So on getting to the OSCE center that very day, I was told that I didn't come with my passport, and I didn't know that, okay, you have to go with your passport. I was all alone. I came all alone. I didn't have any, nobody to ask about all of these things. So it was really a painful period. I asked them, is there nothing I can do? Can I not just, show you my PDF form of passport? It's on my phone. I have the PDF copy. They said, no way, it has to be the hard copy. And Oxford, the place I was supposed to write the OSCE, Oxford from my side is like, it's not 2 hours or so. And I traveled that same morning. It was really devastating. I had to go back home without writing my OSCE that very day. And my trust had to, book another OSCE date for me, which was like 2 months from that day. and it cost me a lot, like a longer time to start doing support, because before you write your OSCE, you have to be working as a support worker band 4 before you, because you are not allowed to practice as a midwife or as a nurse in the UK without your PIN. So in order for you to get your PIN, you have to write your OSCE. And if you have not written your OSCE, you have to keep working as a support worker. So that was what I was doing, working as a support worker for an extra 2 months, and started studying afresh everything I've already studied. So it was really, 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 really stressful for me that period. And God did it. I finally wrote my OSCE, I passed it, and then I got my PIN, and here we are today.
Man, I keep hearing stories, but yours is also a strong one. Oh my God, you went through a lot.
A
Hmm.
lot.
I keep telling people read, research,
Yeah,
questions,
yeah,
find somebody who is already there, speak to the right
exactly.
people. All
Exactly.
this could have been avoided because if you had had the first hand information or had researched better.
Exactly.
Oh my.
Information is very important. It cost me a lot. In each of these stages, it was just, not knowing the right information. That's
Yeah.
just it.
So in terms of accommodation, when you arrived, did they pay for your accommodation up until the time you wrote and passed?
Yes, they do. So, when I got to the airport that very day, Heathrow Airport, my trust, sent a taxi to come and pick me from the airport, and they took me straight to the accommodation, hospital accommodation, and they give you 3 months free accommodation. Some
Mm.
trusts give you 1 month, some give you 2 months, some 3 months. So my trust was 3 months, and after that 3 months you can start looking for your own accommodation. But the first 3 months is free of charge from them, and they give you food stuff as well to sustain yourself during that period. So my fridge was stocked with different kind of foods, although some of them I don't know the name, but at least I have to learn how to eat.
Yeah, yeah. Wow. So from the time you arrived to the very initial OSCE date, how many weeks was it before you were supposed to take that one that you couldn't take? You had to go back home. How many weeks or preparations did you have to do before going?
Yeah, so I came in May 20th, and then my OSCE date was August. So June, July, August. That was like 2, 3 months.
Really?
Yes, two.
So in the
Yeah.
3 months, what happens? You are working as a support worker or you are training or being trained for OSCE?
It was both of them though. It was both ways. I was doing support worker. Days I'm going to work, I go to work, I work as a support worker. But the days I'm not working, I'm booked for OSCE classes. My trust was training me. They designated like some people to start training us on all of this. Because when you're preparing for OSCE, when you register for your OSCE, the OSCE center sends you materials. So they sent my trust materials because they were the ones that booked my OSCE for me. And they send them the material. So with that material, they were using to train us. And all skill is just all about, you following the instructions, like what they ask from you, do it. Because they have this checklist of things that you have to know. So if you know those things, if you're able to have those things in your mind, you go and write it, there is no problem. You pass it all at once. You just have to, get the right information, like I said, still going back to information.
And the OSCE, how many stations was there?
I think it was like 8 stations. Not so sure. We have a PI station, assessment, planning, implementation, evaluation. We have two emergencies, which is 6. Then we have two others, which is evidence-based and professional values. So it's 8 stations in total.
Okay, so I believe that the midwifery OSCE is different from the registered nurse OSCE, or is it the same?
It is different. It is
Okay,
different.
okay. So walk me through the process. After passing OSCE, you became a midwife, you had a license to work. Are you working in like labor and delivery, obstetrics, pediatrician unit? Where are you working and how has it been for you?
Yeah, I'm currently working as in the delivery suite. That's the labor wards.
Mm-hmm.
As a midwife, and I've not really, we still do this precept. I'm still a preceptor. Yeah, so you don't just jump to start working on your own. Even after getting your PIN, they support you along with. They pair you with other midwives,
Is
band
that the
3 that.
supernumerary or
Yes, so yeah, they pair you with some midwives that have, it's called the supernumerary journey.
Mhm.
Then you're working alongside them, getting to know this, because they don't want you to be alone and then feel scared. Us, Nigeria midwifery, Nigerian nursing, and UK nursing, they are very different. So you have to know these things, know how to use the CTG machine, know how to use all those equipment that are there, and When you're finally able to, transition to start working on your own, then they allow you. But they are very, very careful because they don't want you to make mistakes.
Mm-hmm.
They don't want you to feel scared. They don't want you to lose your confidence. So they want you to, be well relaxed and, feel confident, feel comfortable working, and that. And up till this point, they are still supporting me. They are still supporting me to make sure that, okay, I'm able to stand fully on my feet and, feel happy, feel confident working. Yeah.
So
And
how many months is the training, the preceptorship, the supernumerary? How many months is it?
yeah, they don't give a particular, like I said, my pin came out in October. So November, December, I'm final. I think at this point now I'm transitioning into, working alone, because a few last 2 weeks or so, I've been doing the working alone thing. So it should be like about 3 months, 4 months, 5 months, but it can be as long as 6 months, as long as you say, okay, I'm not okay yet, I don't know this thing yet, I still need more support in this area. They are assessing you, and you're telling them your fears and your, what you can do and what you cannot do as well. There are always people to support you. Then after the supernumerary, is you're both a supernumerary and a preceptor. Preceptorship is like 1 year period
Okay.
where, you're still gaining those skills. You can be working alone, but you're still gaining those skills and feeling your preceptorship pack. And after you graduate from that preceptorship, then you can be a band six, then transition to become a band six, apply, and then get it.
Okay. So right now, what band are you?
I'm a band five now.
Okay. So when
Yeah.
anybody comes in, they are band four until they write the OSCE and pass before they become band
Yes.
five.
Although some trust, they start their people from Bantiri. They start their employees from Bantiri. Then before
Yeah.
you write your skill, you're Bantiri. After writing your skill, you're band four. Then few weeks later, you're band five. But I started as a band four straight up. Then after OSCE, I was now band five. Then
Wow. So from the time you started your application till the time you entered UK, do you know the duration? How many months has the whole thing been, or even if it's a year?
okay, from the time I started my application should be, because I did my IELTS June. So that was like the first time I actually took the step that I want to start the UK process. So I
June.
did IELTS June to May. That's like 1 year.
Okay. So June
Yeah.
2021.
Yeah, to May 2022.
Yes. Wow. So determination is very key if you don't have the zeal to do this migration thing. It's not for the faint-hearted. I always
It's
say
not
to
for
my
the
people,
faint-hearted.
it's expensive, it's lengthy, it's frustrating. And after you pass, now you're looking for a job, the wait period and
Yeah.
the immigration and all that. Wow. But you were able to overcome it. So any advice for people who are still back home doubting if they can do this? Anything you want to tell them?
Yeah, I would say you just keep the faith alive, because these challenges are going to come. Don't don't just say, okay, it's not meant for me. This is not meant for me. You see, I'm struggling with this particular stage. They are going to come. They are definitely going to be there. But you know what you want. You want to travel. So take it as one of those things. Move ahead of every stage. And also, one thing that people do, that they say, I want to gather all the money before I'm able to start, so that I don't start struggling along the way. No, when I started, I don't think I had up to 200,000 naira in my account. So you just, with the little money you have, I was working and I was doing this thing. Every month they pay me my salary. I use that particular salary to do one thing in my either TB test, IELTS, CBT. I use it to, you have to, don't say I want to save. Just keep doing it. Keep doing it. Don't look at, okay, what will I use to do this one to go. Just as every day comes, keep doing it. And also, make sure you get the right information. Like I said, you can see that, not getting the right information really stressed me along the way. So get the right information, approach people that know it, that have been there, and then get something from them. Ask them what this thing takes and all of that. And also, for your supporting statement, make sure you have the right, supporting statement. Do it properly. And I would say be prayerful and don't give up, because you're going to get, there are stages there. At some point I said, I'm not going to do it again, I'm tired, let me just, but I remembered why I started, and I said, okay, I need to finish this thing. And here I am today. If I had given up, I don't think I would be here.
So let's zoom into content creation. How did you get into creating content on YouTube?
Okay. So what happened was a particular day I was invited by my mentor, Emanuela Nospregi, to come online on Facebook to talk about this migration process and how to migrate to the UK as a midwife and all that. So it got to the time I was supposed to join, and I don't know what happened. The network was not networking itself, and I was not able to, join the live at that day. I told her, look at what's happening. I'm not able to join and all that. And we struggled, and in the end, it didn't work. So I said, okay, I've already done my makeup. I've dressed up. I can't just waste this makeup. Let me do it in a video and send it to her and also upload it out there. And that was how the journey started. It was that very nice. Before that day, I never had the mind of starting YouTube channel and all that. It was that challenge. I kind of see something in every challenge I go through.
I
That's my
like
kind
that.
of person.
Wow. I like that.
Yeah.
Yes, myself, I didn't know I was one day wake up and be doing this, but something pushed me to it, and I felt, let me come to
Yeah.
the story, and here we go.
Yeah.
I really commend you for making initiating the steps and seeing it through, because some people, as soon as obstacles come, they back up and they just don't come back again. But people who
Yeah.
have done it, is doable. Start
Yeah.
from somewhere. The year is already running. March is almost done. Start from
Mm-hmm.
somewhere. If not, you'll be like, oh, I could have done this. 1 year is past, 2 years is past. Somebody has done it. The obstacles will come. It's expensive.
Exactly.
It's stressful. It's
Mm.
frustrating. It's lengthy. The challenges will come, but just be determined. Make sure, just focus on the end goal. It's totally worth it. Don't doubt it. Unfortunately,
Yeah.
back home is a mess. Things are not going how we want them to go. So if you have the chance,
Yeah.
you have that nursing certificate, make good use of it. Thank you very much for coming onto my channel to share this. I cannot
Yeah.
wait to come on your channel one of these days.
Oh,
Uh,
I'll be so glad.
Good. My fellow nurses watching this, go to her channel if you want to migrate to UK as a midwife. She'll be the best person to guide you through it. Leave comments below and we'll answer your questions. And as I said, Ghana, there's a recruitment drive coming soon by UPC, my consult. And I cannot wait to tell you all about it. Thank you very much and have a good day. Bye bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.